Hi, this is Tom from Rocket Restorations, and today it's something to do that I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to do before. So this is a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner 446 barrel supercar convertible. I mean, this is a fantastic vehicle. I mean, like super rare, super hard to find. But a couple weeks ago, we did a video on the Tony Townley collection, which was a collection that Richmond Auctions auctioned off back east. I think it was North Carolina, South Carolina, somewhere back there, somewhere in the south. And this was one of the cars we featured on there. And I didn't really have a chance to, you know, I basically kind of did my video. I kind of did an evaluation of what it sold for and all that, but I didn't really have a chance to see it in person. So again, this is a unique opportunity I have never gotten before. And I'm actually pretty excited about it. After the video, so Steve Magnante, he did a video on this too. He actually responded to my video when I did this and talking about condition and stuff, but it's different to see in person. You know, it's like it's hard to evaluate a car on the internet. You know, I do it anyways, but it's kind of neat being able to see it in person and see what the condition is. So so what is this car? So it's a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner 446 barrel. Super rare. So here's the thing from the Tony Townley collection, the thing they put on there. So I think it's one of 20, I think, but this thing is just awesome. It's completely loaded. Did really well. If you watched the other video, you know what this sold for. I'm gonna make you wait to the end. I'm gonna tell you how much it sold for. You guys gotta wait. This is called like being good at video, so it's suspense. So you watch to the end or something like that. There's the VIN. So it's RM27. R is mid-size B-body Plymouth. M is medium price class, which is Roadrunner in this case. 27 is convertible, which means, you know, top goes down. V is 446 barrel. 0 is the year, 1970. G is the plant, St. Louis. And then the last 6 is the sequence number. So this car was originally B3, so ice blue. It actually has the original wheels on it, which is kind of neat. You can see the original paint there, but just the scratches from a trim ring at some point, which I don't think this would have had a trim ring. If it was a true dog dish car, I don't think it would have had a trim ring. This actually look like 450 wheels. Are these 450 wheels? I can't read the part number. So the 450 wheel is the super hard to find 15x7 wheel. And it kind of looks like that might be one. They would not have had a trim ring on a true 15.7 wheel. So if you wanted 15-inch wheels, which was optional on this car, was not standard. 14s were standard. The only car that got standard 15s was the Hemi car. So on a 446 barrel, it was 14s were standard. But it does look like a 450 wheel. But they would not have had a trim ring. The dog dish Plymouth is correct, but they wouldn't have had a trim ring on that. You can see somebody blacked out the engine bay, so obviously a Chevy guy had this at some point. I don't think they've gotten this one running yet. It has a cutout on the air cleaner right there. That's usually for air conditioning. Like I bet since this was a California car, I bet somebody put aftermarket AC on it at some point and probably cut that. That's generally what you see. This has a power steering cooler because probably has gears. We'll get to that in a second. Yep, it's a 444 speed car, which means it was standard with a Dana 60 rear end, and you had to have gears with it, either 3.5s or 4.10s. Anytime you got gears, you got the power steering cooler, which is a nice little option. Still has the clutch fan on it. Has the super cool air cleaner, although I think that's actually the wrong base, because on an air grabber car, so the air grabber is the fresh air system, which is about the coolest option on this thing. Look at that. So on these, you go up to traffic light, that goes up, and it says air grabber. But another interesting thing about these is there's no way to get these off without ruining the sticker. So the whole way it holds on, you have to put the thing in, and there's a rod that goes through the sticker. So once the sticker's on, you can't basically take the lid off anymore without ripping the sticker and redoing it. So obviously it's happened on this car before. So sorry, just realized I never got back to this. So on the air cleaner base, you know, we mentioned it was cut there, but see the shield on the front? So that's just for cars that do not have fresh air hoods. So basically that kind of prevented like bugs and stuff from coming through the radiator towards the air cleaner, kind of protected the front of it. But if you had a fresh air car, it completely surrounded the air cleaner, so you didn't need that. So there were basically two different, you know, 6-pack, 6-barrel bases, one with the shield, one with not. So like the Sport Fury GT, for example, did not have a fresh air hood, so it had that shield on it. This car should not have that shield because it's an air grabber car that had a full air cleaner that covers everything. Has the heater hose bracket over there, which is correct. I think those are 69 valve covers. So I'm trying to see the numbers right there, but they're really hard to see. I'll have to bring out my flashlight here in a second and see if I can see it. I'm not going to be able to film it. Just brake car. So here's the fender fender tag right here, and it looks like a very legit tag. So St. Louis tags are pretty easy to identify if they're real or not. So they have an inspection stamps over there, and they have another mark there. So they stamp through the tag for the inspection mark. So reading from left to right, as you will on a Mopar tag, E87 is 446 barrel, D21 is 4-speed, RM27 and VOG is the VIN, and 155847 is the sequence number. EB3 is blue. I believe that's ice blue on Plymouth.
Ice blue metallic was the name of the color.
I'm going to double check that and make sure I don't mess it up in the video. P6BW, P is premium interior, 6 is buckets, and BW is blue and white. Very rare interior color, you don't see that very often. EB7 is upper door frame color, and then the SPD is, well, that's hard to read, B07, which is November 7th. Vehicle order number is 118822. And what does that mean? Well, that's a conversation for another video. It doesn't mean much on this one. B3W is white convertible top. 834 is gear package.
834 is Super Track Pack, which is available only with the 4-speed manual transmission with 444 barrel, 6 barrel, or Hemi. 4-speed heavy-duty automatic transmission with Hurst shifter with wood grain shift knob and reverse warning light, available in package only. And that's actually, well, it's technically it's a pistol grip shifter on those. It's a 410 Dana 9 3/4 inch axle, 7-blade torque drive fan, 26-inch high performance radiator with fender end, power disc brakes, sure grip differential, and dual breaker distributor. All come with the Super Track Pack. Sorry, this is the Dodge book. I can't find my 70 Plymouth book right now. Forgive me, all of you.
The B51 is power brakes. For whatever reason, they did not code disc brakes, and power brakes and disc brakes were separately orderable on these. So if you got disc brakes, you had to get power brakes, but you could get power brakes, power drum brakes, obviously. C16 is console, C55 is bucket seats, G33 is remote commute, which is still there right there. J25 is 3-speed wipers, which was standard. You had to get that with the air grabber because the 2-speed wiper motor kind of sticks out from the firewall that way, where the 3-speed kind of lays over, and it wouldn't fit. It actually hits the air cleaner if you don't do that. M31 is molding package, which I believe is the belt moldings that go across the door. So that molding that goes across the door right there, belt moldings. N85 tack, of course, on a performance car like this, you want a tack. N96 is air grabber. P31 is power windows. Super rare option on a Roadrunner. It's super desirable. R21 is AM/FM radio. V88 is stripe delete. They kind of wanted the sleeper on this one, I guess. 26 is 26-inch radiator, and END is end of codes.
So interesting car. We can kind of look at it looks fairly solid going around it. It's got a big dent in the quarter panel there. These are not easy to find. They're 2-door only. So the 4-door doesn't have this scoop there. I mean, obviously there's a door there, but the Roadrunner has that scoop there, which is kind of a good looking scoop. You can definitely tell it's had a bunch of body work back here. This would be a really good one to put the paint cage on. I didn't bring it with me, and it's not my car. I don't have permission from the owner, so I'm not going to go around and check the paint. And it doesn't really matter, but you can definitely see there's been a bunch of work down here. You can kind of see the thick Bondo right there. And again, what happens with Bondo is it kind of traps moisture inside and rusts the window out, basically. So they should put a rear antenna on it. That's funny. So that was converted. Obviously not factory. It should be on the front fender at some point. I mean, obviously the car's been painted at some point. It definitely has some filler in it. Has some little rust on the quarter panels right there. A little rust down there too. So I mean, it's not like a rust bucket. Like the frame rails look good. All that stuff looks good. But you know, once you get this thing stripped down, it's gonna need some stuff. You know, no matter what. Like, you know, it's gonna need some stuff. Bucket seats in there, white with the blue trim. Really good contrasting look right there. I think it looks really good. These have the engine call out on the back, and they just said 440 on the 446 barrel. They didn't have a separate sticker for 440 or 4 barrel, because on a GTX it would be standard 440, 440 plus 6 of course. Well, Roadrunner was either 383, 446 barrel, or Hemi. GTX was 440, 446 barrel, or Hemi. So obviously in GTX it would say 440 on a Roadrunner. Even on the 6 barrel it says 440 on it. Let me see if I can see what the number is on the top pad here. Let me get my flashlight out. I'm not gonna be able to film this. Let me go look at it and see what it looks like. All right, well, this is a classic case of not being judgy till you actually check stuff. So I apologize to the owner for saying this, but it looks like it might be the right motor. I mean, I'm not crawling underneath to look at the bin, but it says F440, which is 1970 440, and then the build date, the assembly date on there is 11/8. which is very close to the production date of the car. It's actually B07 was the scheduled production date. So my guess is this car was probably built a little bit late. Scheduled production date is just that. It's not necessarily the day it was built. It is the day it was scheduled to be built. So it is not unusual for cars to be built way late or way early. Valve covers have been changed on this, so they obviously aren't correct. But it looks like it is a 70 HP motor at least. So he's been converted to electronic conversion at some point. I can see the pigtail over there. It's a good upgrade on these. You know, when this gets restored, it'll probably end up being stock. They'll probably go back to points, I'm assuming. Owned by Joe Jordan. He has a few other really cool cars in the show. Looks like original California blue plates on it. Those got kept forever. 70 should be in the A/B range though. So T means it was built. It was not licensed new in California. So I don't see N95 on the tag.
Again, as mentioned, if it was originally a California car, it would have N95, which is a evaporative control system required on all cars in California. That was just it was a bunch of, you know, emission stuff. So they actually like contained the vapors coming out of the fuel tank and a few other things. A lot of those had turn down exhaust X2, and this car does not have that.
So I'm assuming this did not start out in California. So T, I don't know California plates super well, so that had to have moved to California at some point later in its life. I can't tell you like the exact dates, but probably mid-late 70s, ended up in California. And I'm pretty sure that's where it came out of. California was where this thing was found, where Tony Townley found it. So, all right, end of the video here. What did this thing sell for? This thing got $240,000, which is, that is some crazy money for a car. That's a lot of money for a non-Hemi convertible, but you know, if you're gonna spend up, if it's a car you want, this is a pretty good one. You know, it has a, again, I'm not sure if its numbers matching or not. I'm not gonna say yes or no on that because I don't know. Obviously that affects the value a lot. Did they actually mention that on the card? Yeah, numbers matching. Yeah, it is numbers matching. Okay, so that makes a big deal. If you want numbers matching, high option, Plymouth rotary convertible and a 446 barrel, this is the one. Where else are you gonna go?
Car is 1 of 20. Talk about rare.
So good cars are still bringing premiums. Project cars have definitely been going down a little bit because the cost of restoring them. But I mean, this looks like a pretty solid project to get done to restore. So, all right, well, this is Tom from Rocket Restorations. Appreciate everybody for watching. We'll talk to you soon.